Who needs Trevor when you have Donovan, eh? So as Donovan just said, my name is Anganati Beyle. I'm a 26-year-old Xhosa gent hailing from Cape Town. I'm the son of a teacher and a traffic officer, so discipline was and still is a very important thing in the household. Now, I was a bit mild growing up, I must admit, with lots of energy and smarts, but the combination of these three things is not good because it got me in trouble a lot. I got a few claps as a lighty, and they weren't just limited to mom and dad. They came from aunties, uncles, grandparents, or sisweni from around the corner, because us Africans like to say it takes a village to clap a child. Also, us Africans like to say, you don't hit children out of anger, you hit them out of love. And I felt the love. But I don't want you to think my parents were just clapping me in jail willy-nilly. I deserved 99.9% of the beatings I got. But I wanted to take this moment and say thank you to my parents for molding me into the man that I am today. Me being on this stage, this big stage, is us being on this big stage because I carry you with me today. When I think back to my childhood, I remember always having a deep love for my country. I am a patriot through and through. The spirit of Ubuntu, the Rainbow Nation, Bok Friday. I know I'm not wearing my Springbok jersey. I gave it to Donovan to give to Nick. That's my excuse. So earlier this year, I had the opportunity to go on exchange in Belgium, the land of waffles, fries, chocolate, and beer. And I love all those things. So I was very excited to go there because I'd never left South Africa before. Now, picture this. I was supposed to be there for like 6 months. 2 weeks in, I was already homesick. Not because I did not particularly like the country that I visited, but it was because I missed this place, especially the people like you. And of course, it's World Cup season, so I'm watching the build-up to the Boks defending their crown. I know, more rugby references, it seems like a theme today. And I could not help thinking of 95 World Cup, 2007, 2019, Siya Kolisi hosting up the World Cup trophy at the World Cup parade, our nation in pure bliss, celebration, black, white, colored, Indian, all brought together under a common promise, a common hope, and a common achievement. But ever since I've been home, it seems as though one thing after another is driving a wedge between us. It seems as though from social political issues and other political issues, there are so many things that are driving this wedge between us. And it got me thinking that I missed so many things about South Africa, and I see none of these things that I missed. It got me thinking about the power of messages and what role we as marketers play in spreading these messages. Do our messages unify us or divide us? And when I turn on the news or go on Twitter, yes, I still say Twitter, it's always Twitter to me, all I see is the latter. It seems as though everything is dividing us. Now, whichever side of the political fence you stand on, we can all agree that the political ideologies that we choose to embrace can lead to uncomfortable situations and sometimes even confrontation. Now, when I say political fence, I don't mean the party you vote for. I don't mean DA, ANC, EFF. I don't want anyone to fight, super PAC coalitions or whatever else is going on. I mean the cultural and ideological zeitgeist that has come to define the Western world in 2023. It is difficult for individuals, and this difficulty is compounded for brands. Brands are acutely aware of this. So it takes me to my topic. Purpose pandering, what is it? Well, it's a growing trend with many marketing departments clamoring to maximize their sales whilst making the perilous error, as Lauren Reef says, adopting too thin a disguise for their intentions to capitalize on various social movements. Whether it's Pepsi's failed attempt to cash in on progressive branding or Bud Light taking its eye off the ball, excited by being warriors for social change, it is safe to say that many consumers are waking up from the woke, see what I did there? Marketing campaigns that are virtue signaling, preaching to us about what we should believe in. Now, many people view woke advertising as some kind of sophisticated innovation that companies are converging towards a norm of social consciousness emblematic of human progress, when in reality, the growth of woke advertising is companies investing in their images, driven to capitalize on the growing outrage mentality of the masses today. True brand purpose is a long game that takes real commitment, especially when people in my generation have high expectations of what brands believe and value. It's important to create specific messages and campaigns that build your community, not your consumer. This is where Bud Light got it wrong. They underestimated the values and beliefs of the core audience when they partnered with trans social media star Dylan Mulvaney for a campaign. Now, you can tell that this marketing gimmick was obviously driven by the potential for increased revenue and commercial success and not truly purpose-driven, because after Bud Light stock plummeted about 12% and Bud Light maker AB InBev lost a whopping $27 billion in market share over the course, market value, sorry, over the course of the backlash, Bud Light euphemistically fired its marketing team in hopes of sweeping it under the rug. On top of all of this, it's probably the worst part, they did not offer support to Miss Mulvaney when she fell victim to some very vile social media bullying, which is arguably the worst part of this whole fiasco. Bud Light is struggling because, as Todd Evans put it, they took a stand and did not stand behind it. Guys, you must stand for something or you'll fall for anything. The company made a bid for inclusion and then backpedaled, which shows that they did not mean it. It wasn't aligned with the company's true purpose. The Bud Light situation is a stark reminder of what can happen when brands try to capitalize on social movements without sincerity. Although some companies do this, they take these stands and fall flat on their faces. Some stand tall in their purpose, even in the face of criticism. Take the Calling Black Label hashtag No Excuses campaign, which won countless awards, garnered massive reach. South Africa's abuse rate is 5 times higher than the global average. It is estimated that 3 women die every day in this country at the hands of their partners. Now, I'm a South African man, a proud one, Xhosa. I have a mother, sisters, aunts, nieces, and female friends, so this issue is one that terrifies me. I want to do my part in building a society where women do not live in fear of the men in their lives. Black Label's own research revealed that men use alcohol as the number one excuse when committing gender-based violence. Calling Black Label, South Africa's largest and most loved beer brand, is Zamalek, we all love it, has been talking to men and defining masculinity for decades, which is why they see it as their responsibility to use their influence to talk to men about this issue. This is the perfect example of using a campaign to build your community and not your consumer. Black Label understands who its core audience is, men, and is using its platform to speak to Amadota about the violence that men are responsible for in this country, whilst taking accountability for the role that it plays in perpetuating this violence. The one thing that separates this campaign from other campaigns is like Gillette's The Best a Man Can Be campaign, is the use of politically charged language. The use of the term toxic masculinity in the ad was a flat-out mistake. While only mentioned quickly and briefly, the term usually leads to a one-sided critique and stereotype of an entire group. When it comes to masculinity, society is sending a message that men are acculturated into specific ways of behaving that can therefore be socialized out of them. But this is simply false, and in many ways forms a simplistic view of the differences in temperament, attributes, and other things that contribute to the makeup of any male individual. 9 out of 10 men and women describe themselves as either completely or mostly masculine or feminine. So it's a bad idea to send a cultural signal to either group that there may be something intrinsically wrong with them. So why all this? Well, I'm a 26-year-old black man. I'm going to be a part of this brave new world that my generation is so hell-bent on building. What I have going for me is the fact that I am black. BE points for me, yes. But the fact that I am a man is working against me. Some social movements will convince me that I'm a victim because of the color of my skin, and others will convince me that I'm an oppressor and an aggressor because of my genetic makeup. Some people will convince me that the system is against me and that I can only hope to make something of my life, but others will say I should check my privilege because many have it far worse. This is not a call to action. It's not that, but rather a call to take a breath and realize the impact our messages have on people. We as marketers have the power to form, mold, and change people's perceptions on a variety of different things, and we should not take that power for granted. We can all do a better job of crafting messages and moments that appeal to the things that make us similar, not the things that make us different. I think back to those images of Francois Pienaar handing over the World Cup trophy to Nelson Mandela, John Smith to Thabo Mbeki, people from all walks of life, united by a common cause and a vision for a better South Africa. The messages we share with our audiences should aim to unify us and not divide us. True progress is not picketing, rioting, and pointing fingers at everyone else but ourselves, which is, we like to talk about progress in my generation. But progress is about moving forward, and we cannot move forward if we do not bring others with us. And the way we bring others with us is by appealing to the parts they share with us, not the parts that make them different. So in closing, I would like to quote M.T. Fletcher. At a time when our moral outrage is routinely stoked by vote-hungry politicians and click-hungry media, maybe marketing could become a little bit more meaningful by simply reminding us that we're more like-minded than our elected officials and various media outlets want us to be. Thank you.
Sir, you're not going anywhere for the next 30 seconds, right? Because it's very rare, right, to walk into a room, see somebody, you don't know who this person is, but there's an energy that they exude. And you don't know why, but there's something about them. Let me tell you, young man, whatever happens, do not lose the confidence, do not lose the passion, do not lose the humility, the authenticity, and the charm. The charm. You commanded this stage and held these people in your hands for how long were you on here? 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah,
that you were on this stage and not one person felt that, right? You've done something that I'd say 90% of the people in this room would never, ever think of doing. And you coasted through it. You handled it like a boss. Do not lose focus of who you are and your abilities, bro. You're amazing, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of you, and I hope we do. Anga.